Welcome back to the channel. So I want to share another trade idea that is also under the earnings strategy basket. And this one has to do with Circle. And I think it's a great time to mention it, in particular if you're trying to catch some upside in crypto, which has been super tough this year. If we just kind of bring up Bitcoin here, I mean, we've known that Bitcoin has had a super tough 2026. Started at over 90,000, has come down to 64,000, has not been able to rally much whatsoever. Now, I did have a video on my channel maybe a week ago, I believe, stating that I believe the bottom is in for Bitcoin. And in that video in particular, it was MicroStrategy. The reason being is that it's been weathering some negative news fairly well. It's not going any lower. In particular, we had the whole cold card hack. That's super bad for the optics of crypto. It hasn't helped also that if Michael Saylor and MicroStrategy, they've continued to sell Bitcoin instead of being net buyers. I think now it's like 2 months since they last bought Bitcoin. And if anything, they continue to sell Bitcoin to increase their USD reserve. So that also has been negative, but MicroStrategy, as we kind of bring it up here, I mean, it hasn't gone anywhere yet too, right? We've had a break, an attempted break over 100 on Friday before getting rejected back below. But out of all these stocks, Circle has, in my opinion, been performing the best. If we look, now their biggest product is basically their stablecoin, USDC, which they earn a fee from. But either way, their chart is very much correlated with Bitcoin. And if we compare how Circle has been doing with MicroStrategy and versus Bitcoin, we can see that they've actually, it's done better. It's done better this year so far. And we can also see that moments when there is some relief in crypto that was happening this year, right? So maybe sometime in March, we saw some bounce back, sometime in May. Circle has actually bounced back the strongest in both of those cases. And now as we look, Circle seems to also once again be leading the best out of the current rut that we're in. And most importantly, let me show you guys, it's happening on the heels of not so great earnings. Because if you look at the 15-minute chart here of Circle, earnings comes out, right? Numbers keep coming out. Initially, we go up, right? This is all happening, within the first hour. And then we have a very, very harsh reversal, especially as the earnings call begins, they're having the chat. The stock, this was happening in a pre-market of last Wednesday. The stock gap's lower. We're talking about a gap lower of about 3% or so. It trades as low as 6% on the day. This happens essentially within the first minute of the market opening up. Stock is trading down 6% on the day. But it ends up finishing flat, right? This would put this is last Wednesday. If we look at last Wednesday here, was this last Wednesday? Let me just see. No, let me just verify. What am I looking at? Here we go. Okay, so yes, we gap down. Right here, we trade back, we trade above it and then back below, but we end up finishing around the same closing price, essentially, right? This is a closing price of 63.28, and this is 63.28. Oops, 63.28. Yeah, exactly the same. We finished completely flat on the day. It reversed being down the fact that it was down 6% off the back of earnings, and since then it's gone higher. Even more interestingly, yesterday, if we zoom in a little closer here, Bitcoin traded lower on the day. See this little sloping down that we see here, how it slopes down? That's Bitcoin trading lower on the day. Look at MicroStrategy, traded lower on the day, right? Look at Circle, traded up on their day. And then today, it's having one hell of a day, right? Look at Circle today, pushing higher. It's up 4%, I believe, on the day right now. Oh, wow, it's up 6%. When I was getting this video ready, it was up like 3% on the day. But now, as I'm having this conversation with you guys, it's up, 6.5% on the day. Let's look at the minute chart. Yeah, it's absolutely exploding right now. And I'm just kind of looking to see. And crypto, I mean, this is Bitcoin futures. It's doing nothing, right? MicroStrategy seems to be moving up a bit more. It's up 1.33% on the day, but nothing as much as Circle here. Look at this at 7% and counting, right? So it's really trying to break out of this rut, and it's doing it first. And it's doing it again. Again, remember, earnings dropped first. When all the numbers came out, the conference call was had, the stock was down as much as 6% right away, right? We can see that analysts lower targets, right? Needham, lower target. Deutsche Bank, lower target. They wouldn't be doing this if earnings were blockbuster, right? They wouldn't be lowering targets if earnings were great, but the stock is now trading 12% above what it was before these numbers came out, before these analysts had a chance to look at them and say that we should actually be downgrading these targets here. I know that Circle ended up missing on their revenue here, on their sales, right? There's the miss right there, which led to that cascading drop in price here. But it's managed to overcome that. And it's doing it while Bitcoin is not really doing much whatsoever these last couple of days. I mean, again, Bitcoin was down yesterday, MicroStrategy was down yesterday, but Circle traded up on the day. You can see on the daily chart here that it actually tried to trade down before finishing back where it opened up for the most part, above the previous day close. So this here is my position in Circle, 450 shares that I'm long at an average price of 65.05. As we look at the chart, it's about right around this mark. Could I have had a better entrance? Sure, because as we had begun to cross over, again, we reported earnings on Wednesday here. As we began to trade above it, I should have been building up that position in the 63s, 64s, build it up in the 65s. You can see that first day I was actually red at the close, as in like my P&L was negative. But since then, it's traded very aggressively higher. It's still trading higher. I mean, 8%, and it sucks to be making these videos sometimes, guys, like after the fact, and sometimes the move is done. Some of my videos that I have on my channel, I'm doing it before the move is happening, sometimes in the midst of the move. What you'll notice that there's a lot of earnings failures happening in the market at all times. I try to cover as much as I can on this channel through the videos, the ones that I feel maybe still have a lot more juice left in them. I still feel like it's early of Circle, because obviously we have like this little, again, I'm not big on using technical analysis as a sole reason to get into a trade. I feel like that's super difficult to ever have an edge on. Combine that of some macro information, combine that of some fundamentals, like in this case, an earnings failure, I think we have a different story here. And I'm going to see if I can maybe put together an option position to have more exposure to Circle, or just hold on to those shares. But we're still in this bottoming phase, right? I mean, if you look at the daily chart here, we are still in the bottoming phase, right? We're not catching the stock at the very highs here. It's great to see Circle doing this off the back of Bitcoin doing nothing today so far, and I'm not seeing any news hitting to explain the move of Circle being up 8% today. So this is looking really good. This might be the place to be if you want to catch upside in crypto right now, because this is what's been trading the best all year round, okay? It's not been MicroStrategy, it's been Circle. And that's my opinion. So I'll continue to track this trade. If you found it helpful, found this information useful, please leave me a like, comment for any questions, subscribe for more content like this. Other than that, thank you so much for watching. Till next time.